part 4. Anime What If's back. Back for part 4, the What If deck, or Tanjiro was Meliodas. Now we're going to be covering the rest of the Dimensional Fortress arc. And then we're going to get some, how do I explain it? Some character development. So yeah, as I left off, Tanjiro and Akaza were bouncing around the Dimensional Fortress, as all the Hashira have gotten there. Tanjiro has been going at Akaza a lot. Like, he's been bouncing all over the place, cut off his arms a few times, he's cut his arms open a few times, legs, all that. He sent him flying, Akaza sent him flying, and yeah. This is when Tanjiro would start to lose control. His emotions would start leaving him. And this is when he would start to go completely berserk. Sorry. But yeah, Tanjiro would go completely berserk. Now this is when his final form of darkness breathing would evolve, as it was a cloak. Now it's full on assault mode. He's basically a demon in this mode. He can get his head lobbed off, and he would survive and connect it back. He can get his arm lobbed off, and it would come straight back to him. Now this is when Akaza would shove his hand through Tanjiro's chest, seeing as Tanjiro was vulnerable at that moment. And this would send Tanjiro flying. Now all across the stadium, or kind of stadium, the Dimensional Fortress, and he would land in front of the Hashiras. Now, there would be a big hole in his chest, but it would start to regrow. And this is when he would kind of like body flicker, if you know how that looks. Sorry if you guys can hear leaves hitting each other. We're outside, so yeah. This is when Tanjiro starts going at Akaza, and Akaza starts to lose, because if Tanjiro... Sorry, what that was, I don't know what it was. If Tanjiro is able to wrap his darkness around Akaza and completely crush him, he basically wins. Now he pulls out, or he puts away his swords and gets ready to envelop Akaza in darkness. Now this is when Nezuko would come in with her Hinokami Kagura and go at Akaza. Now she doesn't know Akaza's abilities to lob off it, or to regrow his head or his limbs. So she goes to lob off his head. It doesn't work. She tries pushing the sword in further, and Tanjiro pushes her back, and his head gets crushed. Now everybody there would be horrified, but then whenever they see him moving and still attacking Akaza, seeing as Akaza was Saudi 1, his darkness wrapped around Akaza, pulling him down, and as Akaza was about to be completely enveloped, Tanjiro's head grew back and said, "Now die." And he was crushed. So yeah. Akaza is dead. Now, I'm gonna take a break. I shall get back to you guys in a second. And I'm back. Next morning, I'm all rested up. Yeah. Where we left off, Tanjiro had just beaten up Rune 3 Akaza. So yeah. Um, so Tanjiro is going to be staying at the butterfly estate for a while. So we're going to skip 3 weeks later. And I already told you guys the ship. Now, in a sort of celebration for beating most of the upper moons, everybody's going to have a little party. Seeing as, sorry, my brother just annoyed me. Sorry, he just opened the door. Yeah. Seeing as they just beat most of the upper moons, they only have Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo, and Muzan to beat, which are their primary objectives. They have a party. Now, seeing as most of the Hachira, aside from Mochiro, are of legal drinking age, well, actually, hold on, who am I kidding? It's Demon Slayer, there's a lot of people, so, yeah, everybody's drinking. Except Nezuko, and Kano. Because Nezuko's would say that their family doesn't do that, and Kano would not know what it is. So she would, you know what, she will drink it. So whatever. Just saying. Oh my god, my screen almost stopped recording. Okay. Now, everybody's getting drunk. Now, lots of things would happen. Bim bam. Mitsuri would ask Tanjiro out on a date. Now, seeing as Mitsuri is a lot more sober than Tanjiro, she would know what she's doing, but not really. Because Tanjiro is really drunk. Because he's already chugged down about 3 barrels of beer. He would say, sure, and then go back to drinking. Because he would not know what he just signed up for. So yeah, they keep bartering, and everybody ends up passing out. So yeah. Yeah. A week later, and Mitsuri asked Tanjiro if he's ready for their date. And he said, wait, what? And she said, yeah, you promised me a date. And he said, huh? When? At the party? Oh crap. And that's when he realized, oh wait, that's one of those times I shouldn't have drank. But I drink anyway. Because he has a thing for that kind of thing. That makes sense. Yeah, he has a thing for drinking. He sometimes has drinking contests with Sonami. She's one. He also has them most of the time if he's gonna have one. Sonami's the toughest to beat. He still beats him a lot of the time. But the toughest one to actually beat is Mitsuri. No. She's the third toughest. What? Or not Sonami. You, since he has such a calm mind, you can never actually tell if he's drunk or not. So yeah. Yeah. They end up going on a date. They find out a lot about each other. Bim bam. Nothing happens. They're not a couple yet. Now we're gonna get into the fight. Well, actually, yeah. They will become a couple. Iguro will not be happy about it, but if it's making Mitsuri happy, then sure. He has to be fine with it. So yeah. Now the fight with Muzan. They would be having a meeting with the new master, discussing a plan to beat Muzan. Or, yeah. This is when Kokushibo would show up because it's at nighttime, and the whole battle would commence. They would rush the master out, and they would get to safety at the butterfly state. Because, yeah. Now, the battle is Deku, or not Deku, Tanjiro, Sanemi, Ginya, or not Ginya, Gyome, and Moichiro against Upper Moon 1. Because the demons obviously like crashing meetings. So that's what happens. This battle is a lot harder than Akaza versus Tanjiro. But it's also a lot easier since he has backup. So he enters assault mode and goes at Kokushibo. So Kokushibo has seen what Tanjiro did to Akaza, and of course Tanjiro will have a lot harder of a time beating Kokushibo, but that's just what happens. Kokushibo rushes towards Tanjiro, and Tanjiro goes into his assault mode full power, which causes him to gain wings, or, well, he goes into assault mode. But then more of his body gets covered in darkness. So his whole back gets covered, all of his arms get covered, his chest stays open, and his head. And he starts fighting Kokushibo. He gets blown away whenever trying to wrap himself around Kokushibo and trying to engulf him to crush him. He gets blown away by Kokushibo using his blood demon art and shooting spikes out of his stomach, or sword spikes. Now, he would be out of commission for a little bit. And this is when Sanemi, Moichiro, and Gyome would come in and start going at Kokushibo. This is when Moichiro would stab Kokushibo's gut after using Breath of the Mist, second form, concealed blade. And that's just what I'm going to call it. So it conceals everything for him from 20 meters around, but he can see into the mist. So he goes up to Kokushibo and stabs him in the gut. Kokushibo tries to stab Moichiro, and he does, and one of the blades cuts off his arms, or his left arm. But yeah, then Moichiro's blade turns red. Tanjiro, or Sanemi and Gyome get really injured. Sanemi gets really injured, but it's basically going to cannon, where his guts are spilling out almost if he moves. And Gyome tells him to get back and heal up, or patch up his wounds. And that's what he does. Tanjiro will go or Gyome will go and attack Kokushibo, and this is when his blade will turn, or his spiked ball and axe will turn red. And start wrecking Kokushibo almost. He caves in Kokushibo's back, and then creates a pillar around Kokushibo to where he's entrapped, and the only way out is up. Or if he's strong enough to break through. This is when Tanjiro would bounce up the pillar and shoot himself down into Kokushibo's little domain, kind of where the pillar is, and he'd engulf himself in him, causing a surprise attack, which could cause Kokushibo to cut off Tanjiro's arms and legs, and also his head, but his torso would still wrap the darkness around him, and his legs and arms would wrap him around Kokushibo too, and Kokushibo would be crushed. After realizing that he was not, he didn't want to become this. So yeah. Sorry, my brother just entered the room again. Or, well, the porch. Sorry. But yeah. Kokushibo is now dead. And yeah. This is where I'm going to leave off this part. The next part will be the finale. Yeah. Give me some more suggestions for what ifs. I can do Demon Slayer what ifs, MHA what ifs, Naruto what ifs. I'm not the fondest of Naruto what ifs, but I will do them if it'll get me views. Because I'm kind of desperate right now. I'm having like a content drought. But yeah. With that being said, I will see you guys either later or tomorrow. Bye.